Don, long time.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. You don't show me no more love, man.
Nah, the love's there, Don.
You guys gave me my very first interview.
I appreciate you saying.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for a long time. Not that everybody appreciates it like you, but that's another subject. Ian Lewinson, big fight. It looks like everybody kind of deeming his opponent as the favourite. Tell me why he wins this fight from your perspective.
Well, obviously, I could see why Joe Joyce, like I said, you don't get given Olympic medals, yeah? In my opinion, like I said earlier, he won the gold, but they robbed him of that gold. He won a Commonwealth gold medalist. You know, this guy is a serious contender. But having said all that, I definitely would not have chosen Ian Lewinson and given him notice as his first opponent. I wouldn't do that. It's too risky. I could listen. You could listen to everything David Haye said at the top table. He's right in many of the things he was saying, but I still think it's an error of judgment. I think I would definitely 100% would not have. There's so many people he could have chosen. Don't choose a puncher like Ian Lewinson and give him notice. I mean, look, of course there's always a possibility that they've got it right, because there is, but I doubt it.
Is this just an example of everybody seems to be in a hurry where boxing's concerned now because the opportunities are so plentiful and there for everybody to see? Is this an example of them trying to maybe put the cart before the horse?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, Joe's age is a factor, so I could see why he wants to fast track him. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that, but again, I want to know who the actual matchmaker, because every promotional outfit has a matchmaker. Who's making these matches? I don't believe, no disrespect to David Haye, I don't think he's experienced enough in that department. It's a specialist job, a matchmaker. So who's the matchmaker for Haye Maker RingStarr, right? An experienced matchmaker would not have made that match, 100%.
If Ian wins this, what could he do? Because obviously...
Lots of things, opens up a lot of doors, and I've told him, listen, it's not a secret. I've told him this, I said, look, because when it was first mentioned to me by Steve Goodwin, I thought it was a joke. I thought, oh, they're gonna say test the waters, and within a couple of days they'll say, oh, sorry, we've changed our mind. But that's not. We're here. It's real. Yeah, we've had the press conference. They've got their photos on the big billboard. I don't think you go to that degree if you're not serious. They're serious about it, so it's real.
So you really didn't think it was gonna happen up until today?
Yes. Absolutely, because I was expecting a phone call to say, oh, they've changed their minds, because they've sought advice and people would have been telling them, no, don't do that. Yeah, you don't choose Ian, number one. Number two, you don't give him notice. Like I said, I've been training Ian for 5 years now, and the most we've ever had is 5 weeks notice, 4/5 weeks. That's for the Dillian Whyte British title challenge.
On Dillian Whyte, what do you make of his last fight in America?
Yeah, very good. He's an Dillian's, is in his element at the moment. He's improving all the time. I've always rated Dillian Whyte. Yeah, he's doing very well. I hope he carries on winning, because we're going to carry on winning, and hopefully him and Derek can get it back on.
Because that's the fight a lot of people still want to see. Dillian doesn't seem up for it at the moment. I guess he's got other fish to fry before he gets back to that one. But it will happen though, right? You're going to make sure it happens, right, Don?
Well, I'm not a promoter. If I were, it'd happen tomorrow. But the fact is, I can understand why Dillian and his people will be not wanting that fight right this minute. He's ranked highly in every governing body. So when you're ranked that highly, why then take the risk that obviously would love for the fight to happen? The British public wants the fight to happen, and I believe eventually it will happen. When, I couldn't tell you. I'm not a promoter, but yeah, it's a risk that he believes. Because he's highly ranked in all these governing bodies, it's like, why go and fight a fight that you kind of know 98% that you're going to get beat? Why do that? So I can understand from their side, but eventually, hopefully, it will happen.
What about the other heavyweight fight coming up between Joshua and Pulev? How does that go? Pulev a lot older than Joshua. You'd expect the younger man to win, no?
Most definitely. I mean, Joshua is going to do what Joshua does. He will, obviously the confidence he would have taken from defeating the great, I will use the word great, because if a man was unbeaten for 11 years, there's a reason for it. Prior Tyson Fury dethroning him, which again, people haven't really
Giving the respect.
Giving Tyson, I for one, he's got my respect from when he beat my guy twice. As you know, him and Derek fought twice. So from that moment, I gave him I gave him even more respect when he went and beat Chris. I knew he would beat Chris. I said to loads of people, he's got this. He'll win, and they did it. And I don't think the guy has been given the credit. And I hope he can sort out his issues out and get back to the heavyweight boxing, because the heavyweight boxing does need him. He's a charismatic, colourful character, and we need that.
What do you make of the reports? I haven't actually heard Joshua say it, and I'm just getting your opinion on all of these things, really, because you're a boxing man. The reports that Joshua probably going to be his last fight here in the UK, going to fight in America for a year or all around the world. There's talk that he wants to fight in Nigeria one day. Do you think that will ever happen? And what kind of, how does that make you see him? Because I haven't heard that talk come from a British African fighter ever, really.
Listen, when you're the type, you're looking at a very special sportsman, athlete, a person who's got that likability character, yeah. He's like your second coming of Ali. He's a people's champion in the sense that, yes, he should promote boxing. He should box wherever, all over the world. Take it to Nigeria. Why not? It's the place of his parents. Yeah, why not? I think when I read that, I was quite touched by that, because that shows the mark of the man. Because he should do that. Yeah, he should spread it. Go to Nigeria. The great late Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, they went to Africa in Zaire, and for that moment that happened, that brought a lot of light to Zaire, yeah, and I think that has not happened in the last how long ago was that fight? 45 years ago. That hasn't happened, so why not? When I read that, I thought I was actually touched. I was almost tearful because I'm quite an emotional guy. No, seriously, and I pray to God that Josh. After his obligations here, why not? Rumble in the Jungle Part 2. We haven't had one, so why not?
Listen, I'm no doubt we're going to catch up with you ahead of this fight, during the fight, all the rest of that. Good luck, thanks for your time as always.
Always a pleasure, man.